surreal part of your gig on Breaking Dawn, would you say?
Um, I think the most surreal experience was getting married. It was right at the bitter end, so I was just, amping up to it the entire time. They left me on my toes, for 6 months. And then it was just sort of very cathartic to see the entire cast in the pews and everyone kind of excited to see how it was all going to go down. And it had a feeling of sort of a, I don't want to say it felt like a real wedding, but it definitely felt like a ceremony. It definitely felt ceremonial and celebratory.
So being a vampire, is it everything it's cracked up to be? I mean, you've been building up to this for a while.
Yeah.
Taylor said you threw him around a little bit. Was that fun?
It was fun. Taylor's funny about it too. He's like, "You're so cute. You're, I think that he was a little more intimidated than he leads on. Maybe not. But not a vampire yet. This is the first one.
Super quick. Snow White. I need to ask you. How excited are you about taking on that character? What's the appeal of that potential movie, potential trilogy? There's talk. What do you think?
Well, I haven't talked about this yet. It's exciting. I don't even know really how to approach this. You know what I mean? I am so excited. We're in pre-production right now. I think she represents so much that I can't wait to get across to the entire world. And also Rupert, the director, we're so in the middle of forming the story and getting into it. It's hard for me to talk about. It's I'm training. I'm riding horses all the time. I know I'm basically telling you nothing that you don't already know, but that's sort of what I'm trying to do.
I'm excited to see the finished product. Good to see you, Kristen.
Awesome. Okay, thanks.
That was Kristen Stewart just this morning, right before the Hall H ceremony. Someone in Hall H, of course, Miss Julie Jones. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Thank you for stopping by. As promised, Julie's going to take my questions, your tweets, keep them coming in. #MTVSDCC. Okay, so you're a newbie no longer. You're like a veteran now. Do you feel a little bit more?
I definitely don't feel like I did last time. I definitely am not exactly that, of much of a newbie right now. But still, you kind of remember all the time that everybody else on that panel has been here for 2 movies before me. So it's still.
Did they prepare you at all? I mean, they've done the panel in Hall H. They know the 6,000 or 7,000 people are going to be pretty loud. What did they say to you before you went out there?
Yeah, well, we've been in front of a lot of people before, but this is a new experience for me, Comic-Con, and generally the cast is more so on the last movie, Uneclipsed, than now, kind of just so you know, this is going to get a little crazy, just so you know, you've never seen this before, or whatever. Now I think they're just they don't pay attention, because they're like, she's been here long enough, so figure it out.
So Breaking Dawn, Part 1 and Part 2, so what were you excited when you got the script, when you poured through that script for the first time, Melissa's script, something juicy for you to play, something fun for you to play, what were you looking forward to?
As far as my character, as far as Leah goes, I was thrilled when I read it, because she really has the opportunity to kind of grow, and she's not so angry anymore, and I felt relieved for her when I read that, oh my gosh, she can actually express these things that she hasn't expressed and go somewhere with it.
Was there a little bit of a different vibe on set, palpable, that did people acknowledge that it was all coming to an end, or was it just the elephant in the room that you didn't talk about?
Really, at no point did it ever feel like it was coming to an end. I mean, it was a very, very long shoot, and I would say that at the literally, for me personally, the last day, right at it wrapped, we wrapped, I didn't believe it. I hadn't even thought about that was possible. I just stood there like a zombie. People started hugging me, you're wrapped. It's you
have to go now.
Yeah, go. What are you doing? We need to move on. Right.
Did you get emotional at any point? Do you think
I totally. I did. I actually, I went back to my trailer. I was fine. I was a little in a daze, and then I realized as I was taking my costume off that this is it. I mean, I was like, you're not. She's gone. This is it. You're not putting these clothes back on, and that was a big thing for me.
Watching, you're in virtually the biggest franchise going right now. Potter's out, so you can take that mantle, right? But watching especially Rob and Kristen and Taylor go through what they've gone through, I mean, are there lessons to be learned in terms of how they've handled the whole fame thing and how they've cut it? Because they all seem pretty grounded from my experience.
Completely. I from the very beginning have just been totally in awe of their ability to stay grounded and to just be people that I look up to, actually, and in spite of the insanity of what they have to go through sometimes is just, it's unbelievable.
What's it like on set? Are they able to kind of keep, the fans were, in a good way, they're out there, they want to be close to you guys, then there's the paparazzi. Is it tough sometimes to focus up, or can they kind of like keep their distance and keep it kind of closed and breaking down?
Right. There's a lot of security. There's a lot of steps and measures went into making it a very safe feeling set, and that is how it felt. But you didn't. I was very aware of all of the measures that were going into making it a very safe set, which it was.
Let's see if I think we have some Twitter questions, right? Let's see if we can go to our first picture of Miss Julia Jones. Okay, so were you allowed souvenirs to keep from the sets? Get to keep anything?
I probably I could have taken whatever I want. I don't think people were really not paying it. Well, they weren't trying to. We were like the only people that like were. When I think about it, on that last day, there's so many props in that house that are so cool in the Cullen house. You probably could have walked out with anything. I didn't take anything. I wish I had been. What was I thinking? If I thought, oh, this is really the last day, I maybe would have come up with some cool artifact or something. But being in the Wolfpack and Leah, we don't really have props, and we don't really have clothes that much. So I don't know. I had some cool Converse. Or like,
what's again, a long shoot. Do you have fun memories of sort of just hanging out with the cast outside? Like, what do you guys do for fun in this long shoot?
A lot of things. I have a lot of really fun memories. We were in sort of the wilderness, so we went to, there were these Scandinavian spas at Whistler, and people went skiing and cross-country skiing, and we would all kind of drive down to Vancouver for a night and hang out there, and we had dinners a lot in our rooms. Some people cooked.
Right. Kristen is
a big cook, and I was really surprised at how many people in the cast were very good cooks.
Really?
Yeah.
Someone rival Kristen. I'm kind of borderline obsessed with Kristen.
Well, Kristen is, yeah. I'm not going there.
We always end up talking about the tortilla soup. Have you done the tortilla soup?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, good. You and me both have never had a tortilla soup. Thank God.
Oh, but I've heard about it.
Does it feel like you're doing two different films? Like, is it just like one long, ginormous film, or does it feel like, okay, Breaking Dawn has ended and Breaking Dawn 2 now has begun?
I think while we were filming it, it felt like one really, it felt like Breaking Dawn.
Yeah.
Not so much like part 1, part 2, and that a lot of us did just you're filming part 1 and part 2 like in the same day. Now it feels like two films. It has because we're talking only about one, and that means there's another one that we're not talking about.
Plenty more to talk about next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Let's go to another Twitter question. Let's see if we have another one for Julia. Maybe not. Okay, so let's talk about. We'll come to it in a second. Bill Condon. Okay, this is a great director, quite a track record. What does he bring to the table? A little bit different than the last play?
I loved working with Bill. I felt like it just was such a calm set. He really set the tone, and he believed in you, and he trusted your instincts, and so it sort of felt like you were all kind of trying to figure this all out together, which is, it's amazing. It wasn't like I